The Rosanian Fairytale. Once upon a time, in a beautiful land called Rosania, near the Crystal Rose Forest, there lived a handsome young lonely wizard named Cameron. He lived near the forest in an old house because he would get his herbs and roses there for his spells. He also visited the rose fairies that protected the forest, helped them any way he can. One day, he went to the Rosanian village to get some food. That's when he saw the girl of his dreams, the princess of Rosania herself, Princess Rose. The princess was riding into town with her knights and the duke to make a proclamation.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is the princess's 21st birthday, and she is inviting you all to attend. Her party will be held in the palace in less than 9 hours. Please attend. Thank you.
Before they left, the villagers started cheering. Then they rode away back to the palace. Cameron couldn't believe what he heard. The whole village was invited to go to the princess's party, and he wanted to go, but he couldn't. He didn't live in the village, so he walked home with a disappointed look on his face. When he got home, he started to put away his groceries until he heard a knock on his door. He opened the door to see it was the Rose Fairies, Selena, Natasha, and Penelope Fairy.
Hello, Wizard Cameron. May we come in? Of course, please. Thank you.
The fairies flew in while Cameron closed the door.
How was your trip to the market? It was all right. What's the problem, Cameron? You seem a bit down in the mouth.
More like someone stole your cookie.
Seriously, Natasha?
What?
Anyway, tell us what's wrong. Today at the village, I saw the princess.
What?
You saw Princess Rose? Yes.
Was she beautiful?
Yes, and even more so.
But why was she in the village?
The Duke was with her, including some of her knights. Today is her 21st birthday, and everyone in the village is invited to her party at the palace.
Wow! At the palace?
Oh, brother. That's amazing! Yes, it is, but I can't go.
What?
Why not? Because I don't live in the village, and the Duke did say that everyone in the village was invited. I'm not from the village. I live near the forest, and I can't go.
That's ridiculous. You should totally go. Just because you don't live in the village doesn't mean you shouldn't go.
Penelope is right. Besides, this might be your chance to find true happiness instead of sitting here all day doing spells. But I don't have anything to wear, and besides, I'm a wizard, not a prince. It doesn't matter.
Actually, it does.
Ah! Quiet, you two.
Yes, Selena. Sorry.
As I was saying, it doesn't matter if you're a wizard, a prince, or even a blacksmith. All that matters is that you go out there and have a good time. Well said, Selena. Thank you, Penelope. Well, what do you say? All right, I'll go.
Great!
But what am I going to wear?
Leave that to us. The fairies got to work and made him a magnificent light blue suit with a red cape. Cameron put it on and went to the party. At the party, Rose was bored. A lot of the villagers were dancing, and she couldn't dance yet because her parents, the king and queen, didn't want her dancing until she met the right partner. So she kept on waiting on her throne, but hardly any of the men were suitable. A lot of them were married or weren't really interested, and this made Rose feel very sad. But then Cameron came up to her and her parents in his enchanting suit and cape.
Your Majesties, I would like to ask permission if I could dance with your beautiful, lovely daughter, Princess Rose.
Such manners!
You may. Rose?
I would love to. Rose took Cameron's hand and they went down to the dance floor and started to dance to a beautiful love song. They danced and danced and danced and danced until they couldn't dance anymore. Cameron took Rose to the balcony and started to talk and laugh. You are very funny.
So are you.
So you live in that old house near the forest?
Yes, I do.
What's it like in the forest?
Well, it's big, beautiful, full of roses, home to the rose fairies, and, well, basically it's full of wonder and enchantment.
Amazing. But why do they call it the Crystal Rose Forest?
Because a gorgeous enchantress named Crystal Rose created it, mainly to give the rose fairies a home.
Wow. What do the rose fairies do? What do they wear?
They wear dresses made out of rose petals, and they take care of the forest.
Oh. Well, do you know them?
Yes, their names are Selena, Natasha, and Penelope.
Those are pretty names.
They sure are. I help them sometimes.
To do what?
Keeping predators away mostly.
Yikes, that's scary.
Not for me. They're basically squirrels or chipmunks.
Oh. Well, I guess to them they can be dangerous.
Yep, even if you're small as a human's thumb or pinky.
You're incredible.
Thank you. So are you.
In that moment, they start to lean in to kiss. As they were about to kiss, the queen interrupted.
I'm sorry, but my dear, it's time for cake and ice cream.
Okay, Mom. I hope to see you again, Cameron.
Me too, Rose.
Rose walked back in the ballroom. Cameron stayed outside on the balcony a little bit longer, thinking about Rose. He just knew that she was the one for him, the girl that would love him forever. After he thought it over in his head, he went back inside. When Cameron walked in, an evil witch with a staff burst through the doors. Her name was Brunhilde. Brunhilde the witch. She was an enemy to the king and queen and wanted the kingdom for herself.
Brunhilde, how dare you ruin our daughter's party with your presence?
Oh, come now. I only came to give your daughter a gift.
We don't believe you.
Well, good, 'cause this present is terrible. With a snap of her fingers, Rose disappeared.
Rose! No! Where have you taken her?
Don't worry. She's perfectly safe here, in my crystal ball.
Let her go!
No, not until you surrender your kingdom to me.
And if we don't?
Then your precious daughter will die. You have until sunrise to decide. And with that, Brunhilde disappeared in a haze of smoke with the princess. The king and queen were perplexed. They didn't know what to do. They loved their daughter, but they knew that if they surrendered their kingdom to Brunhilde, she would cause chaos all over Rosania. They simply didn't know what to do. That's when Cameron came up to them.
Your Majesties, let me rescue your daughter from Brunhilde. I'm a wizard. I live near the Crystal Rose Forest, and I know how to defeat her.
You do?
I do.
The king and queen thought it over and decided to let him help. So Cameron set off for Brunhilde's castle in the darkest part of the Crystal Rose Forest to find Princess Rose. When he got there, he was a little nervous, but that wasn't going to stop him from saving Rose from that evil witch. So he went inside the creepy old castle and started looking for Brunhilde. Well, well, well. If it isn't Cameron, Rosanian's greatest wizard. Why are you here?
I came to save the princess, Princess Rose.
You? You think you can save the princess? Oh, how hilarious. You've got no chance.
You think so, huh? Well, I'll prove you wrong.
And how are you going to do that?
By defeating you, by any means necessary.
I like to see you try. Cameron summoned his magic and blasted Brunhilde with a powerful magic burst. But that didn't affect her. It only made her mad. You shouldn't have done that. Brunhilde formed a fireball and threw it towards Cameron's face, but she missed. He ducked just in time. Then he formed an ice ball and threw it at Brunhilde and hit her in the stomach, but still no effect. He had to figure out her weakness soon, or Rose will surely perish. They fought and fought and fought and fought, but no one can claim victory.
Yield, Cameron.
Never.
Oh, come on! Admit it. You'll never win. You can't defeat me.
Yes, I can and I will.
Then prepare to die with the princess.
The princess? Wait a minute. There is a way to defeat her.
Cameron remembered how to defeat her. It was with love, not force. So Cameron held his hand out and conjured a spell that no other wizard had ever conjured. He conjured a love sphere. No wizard has ever conjured this because no wizard has ever been in love.
What? No! Impossible!
But it is.
Brunhilde was now very scared. Cameron threw the love sphere.
No!
He defeated her. She was now nothing but dust. Brunhilde the witch was now gone forever. Cameron ran to the staff and broke the crystal ball to release Rose, and there she was, lying on the floor. When she opened her eyes and saw Cameron, she gave him a big, bright smile.
Cameron.
Rose!
Cameron sat her up and hugged her.
You're okay.
Yeah, all thanks to you. Cameron helped Rose up from the floor and stared at her with love in his eyes. Then he took her home to her parents. Her parents were full of joy to see their daughter was safe. They thanked Cameron for his great heroics.
How can we ever repay you? Payment isn't necessary, Your Highness. I just did it because I love to help, and that I love your daughter.
The king and queen smiled. Rose went over to Cameron and kissed him on the cheek. I love you too. Cameron smiled. The king and queen looked at each other, and the king then said,
Then I must ask, will you marry your daughter?
Cameron was surprised. The party wasn't only just for Rose's birthday, but to find her one true love. Cameron looked at Rose and right back to the king.
Yes, but if only I ask her. I've lived in Rosania for many years, and I've seen men ask the woman they love to marry them. As you wish. Princess Rose, will you be my wife?
Yes. Cameron took Rose by the waist and kissed her. Everyone in the palace cheered and applauded.
Now, since it's still our daughter's birthday, we not only celebrate her birth, but celebrate her engagement to Rosania's greatest wizard, Cameron. Cue the music!
Everyone danced and celebrated. There was so much joy in the palace that day. Then a week after, Princess Rose and Cameron were married. The king and queen couldn't be happier. Neither could the Rose Fairies, Selena, Natasha, and Penelope Fairy. They were so proud of Cameron that they told Cameron's story throughout the forest, the kingdom, eventually to me. And that's how I was able to tell you this fairy tale, because the Rose Fairies told me. And they all lived happily ever